Looking ahead to the move to King and Spadina, you're going to go there with the group, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I guess I'm wondering about any anticipatory thoughts you have about that, about what that might be like, or how that might be different, because my impression is that it's not an old building like this, and although it is slated for demolition, so I suppose that gives some of that same kind of freedom. But do you have any thoughts about what that move could give you as a positive, on the positive aspect, what you could gain, what you could lose from that move?
I love the space that that building offers in what it is. There's a lot of outdoor space. There's a ton of indoor space. There's sort of closed-in spaces because it is because it did used to function as an office. And so I like that it has all of those things, and really the driving factor, even though it isn't a long-term lease again, which would be more ideal, but I feel like that there is this opportunity to be in that place, whereas I don't know that would have been an opportunity had the building not been slated for demolition, which is kind of an annoying paradox, but that's the appeal for me, and so that's what I'm thinking about is if I end up moving there, that this might be the only time, thinking pessimistically, that I will be able to be a part of a space like that that is slightly different than what I'm used to, and that is not this kind of industrial warehouse type of space that I am used to being in and that I really love. But I think so that's the positive kind of aspect, and that's why I'm thinking about it. And so I'm just kind of thinking about it in terms of like we've got this timeline. This is something that is special, and so I'm going to take advantage of it. The downside for me of moving altogether is I do function as a business in a lot of sense, and so the this kind of dismantling of all the equipment, of the entire space, packing it, that takes time. That means that I can't be working as efficiently as I would be if it was just here, and so that costs money. The actual move costs money, and then having to set back up again. And that'll take time as well, and so it's this. I'm annoyed about the interruption of flow, and about the cost that is going to mean.
Absolutely.
Sort of for coming forward.
Knowing that, and that the next space is a short-term lease, does that affect the way you plan ahead for the following year and the likelihood of just doing it again? Yeah,
it does. And so I'm not sure. Because I don't really know what's going to happen, I'm really grateful that Akin is here, and that this isn't something that I'm doing by myself, which I have done before, is look for spaces on my own, and so I am grateful that system is in place, but I also I'm using this time in the new space to figure out what the next plan is, and that's kind of the way that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, because it strikes me that you've been through a displacement already where you weren't a member of Akin, and now a displacement where you are a member of Akin. What's the difference between those two experiences?
It feels a little bit less like I'm drowning, which is great, and that is like, to me, that's the collective strength, right? Is that there are many people involved, and there are people that have strengths that they can use, and then there are people that have other strengths that are able to fill that in. And so as we talked about in the meeting, it's part of Akin's job to constantly be looking for spaces and to have these things available, and so when some sort of emergency happens, there are options, and it doesn't sit completely on your lonesome shoulders to be able to deal with it.
Yeah.
So that's the major difference. Like before, when we were displaced, like the collective kind of broke up into smaller groups, and then I ended up looking for something with a smaller number of people. And then those things change as well, but it's a different, you know, having an organization thinking about that stuff versus individuals, small number of individuals who all have the same concerns and the same stresses is different,
Yeah.
and it's a lot less stressful.